move on to our chief guest for the day, followed by Umesh Deshpande, a very close friend of mine, to do the guest of honors. So over to Ranjit, the business head from Voltas India, to address. Over to you, Ranjit.
Yeah, hi everybody. Once again, thanks for giving me an opportunity to share the dais with the gurus, of the education sector. So uh, my my best wishes to all of you. Okay, so I start off with the context of I'll touch the very basics of online
Ranjit,
education.
yeah.
Am
Ranjit,
I audible?
yeah, Ranjit, you're not visible to me.
Okay. I will put on my camera.
Sure,
I'm sorry.
Sure. Yeah, thank you.
Is that fine?
Good. Yep.
Yeah. Hi.
Hi.
Yeah. So I'll start off with we were never prepared for this. Because I did my first online degree when I was after my post graduation, after my MBA. That was my first online degree, and I could never imagine that my 1-year-old son would have to do an online class. So I've got two sons. One is in class 1 and another is in class 4. So never ever could I imagine that these guys were going to do an online class. But now there's the reality, and that's what is happening with many of us at home back. So first of all, is that we were never prepared for this, but it came, and somehow we have now come on board, and now we are set to go. But the main challenge what we have faced is that the government of India or the education sector as a whole was never prepared to start this online classes. There has been no directives from the Central Board of Secondary Educations or ICSEs or State Board of Secondary Educations on how to conduct the classes, what should be the modus operandi. If different schools have different platforms for learning. Because in a school you have children from different community, different fraternity. There are people who could afford smartphones. There are people who cannot afford smartphones. These are some of the realistic challenges. The data bandwidth of villages, the data bandwidth even in towns and cities. These are challenges. So these are the challenges which the government is realizing slowly. I work in a corporate. I've been in this corporate for last 20 years, and I look after the global markets, and I'm an extensive traveler. I travel to US, to America, to Africa, to Middle East. But COVID has changed everything. I'm speaking to guys in China. I'm speaking to guys in Germany. I'm speaking to in Australia. Things have changed everywhere. The education has changed everywhere. Now, the biggest question is that now when the schools reopen, how much geared are we? How much geared are we to? How much geared are the school or the school's infrastructure to adopt to the new level of challenge? One is safety. Another is that how could we balance between online and offline classrooms? So will we do with an odd even stuff in a week? Maybe 2 days, 3 days we are having an online class, and 2 or 3 days we have an offline class. So this is what every management should of schools, the principals and the management of the schools along with their teachers should sit across and discuss and have a real brainstorming session. Second is that as Surojit has mentioned, or Nidhi also, that how are we going? Means how do we how do we move ahead? How do we convince the parents that yeah, this is the new reality. This is the new reality of life, because investing in technologies requires money, both for school as well as for the parents also. So it's an additional burden. How are we going to share with? How are schools and parents going to share these burdens amongst each other? So these are some things, where we need to sit across, discuss, and come out at a solution. And this is the time. I think we have put 3 months to go. I don't think any schools will open before August for sure. So these are something, which every management principals of the school should sit across, discuss how to train their teachers, how to create an awareness of online coaching for students as well as for the parents. How to have you should take on board a professional team who are able to counsel these children and counsel these parents, that how it is. So you have a lot of apps today. You have the Baiju's app, you have all these apps. When students can do that, why can't they do this? So that's how we need to convince those people. So the biggest challenge what we will also face is the training of teachers. The teachers also we don't have the teachers who have the same bandwidth across India. It varies from cities to cities and towns to towns and villages to villages. So that's what we need to do. We also need to, it cannot be 100% live classroom also, because the data bandwidth in India is not that great. Even though we have all the Gs, 2G, 3G, 4G, and now 5G, none of the Gs properly work. So in such a scenario, what can be the scenario? Can we have offline classes? Not live classes, but online, but not live, or a mix of live and classes, which is through sharing of content over your YouTube or over Google Classrooms or something like that. So this is what you have 3 months time: June, July, and August. Uh, my personal, because I've been seeing, because in corporates, which is more tech savvy, where people are more, where people were more enabled to address these online challenges. We had to face this challenge. We had to, we were left puzzled. We never knew that is this the new way, because all our review meetings now happens online. All my customer calls now happens online. Uh, uh, so that's something which would have never been imagined earlier. When we used to call our customers, they used to say, okay, come down. Why don't we have a face-to-face discussions and negotiations? But not now. Everything is online. So how to share the content? How to how to how to negotiate? How to how to come properly dressed in online? How to be so all these etiquettes all needs to be built. So let's get prepared for all these things. And I think let's accept the reality that the world is not going to be the same else anymore. And even the COVID vaccines come, and we have. But the biggest challenge now, the challenges are with adults, but the next biggest challenge in COVID would be the children's. That how are we going to keep our children safe, for the next 1 year or even more. So let's get geared up. So and let's and one see, everybody is not professionally equipped. So it has nothing to do with SFA or something. So don't think that all the principles that I'm endorsing SFA or anything like that. But what I want to say is that that you need to get on board professionals who are able to do a complete, analysis of the way your revenue models are going to be, the complete analysis of the way the teaching models are going to be, so that you don't lose on revenues, as well as you don't lose on the quality of education, because the world is not going to stop. The time is ticking up. So things will continue, and so will COVID be. Today it is COVID. The other day it will be some other disease or something like that, or there could be a nuclear bomb attack. But something like that. All these things would keep on happening, but the world would go on. So let's get geared up. These are all warning signs. And yes, 2-3 things we need to see. Is that how do we enable passing of this technology education to the people at the lower end of the society? You know how can we help them as a school or as this thing, that what will be the management support to the lower section of the society, who can't afford smartphones, who can't afford online this thing. How do we help them? So that because education is the right for everybody, it's not for people who can afford smartphones or tablets. So let's look at things at a very holistic manner. Of course, Surojit has got his own way. He's got good years of experience. We have been very close friends. We worked on a couple of professional assignments also together. And let's do work out something. So that's my address to all.
Move on to our